Yo people, welcome back to the YouTube channel. You already know what time it is. It's time for another video, and this time outside on a Monday. That's right, we're easing you slowly back into that feeling of coming back outside on a Monday. Content is coming soon because I know you miss it. A little roundabout emoji, yeah? You already know where it is. But listen, I got a big topic today, okay? Because Christensen, Christensen seems like he's going to Barcelona. It's basically a done deal, just without the signature, without the I's and T's crossed. And I can see already the reaction. People are saying he's a traitor, he's betrayed us, he's a snake. And I'm here to defend him. I'm not his lawyer. I'm not getting paid for this, all right? And there were a couple boos in the background with the dog barking, but he's gone inside now. And I'm hoping you will go inside when I finish this video and kind of understand where I'm coming from in my defense of Christensen. Now, to give it a bit of context and to go back into the history, obviously he signed at 15 years old. So I know he's still young at 25, but we have to remember he's been here for 10 years. He signed when he was 15 for free, okay? And he's been here for a long time. So, of course, like I say, some people need new challenges, need that extra motivation. Not everybody that comes through the academy wants to, like I said, live and breathe Chelsea for their entire career and retire here. Some people just want to go abroad and get that other challenge. And that's something very important to mention. He didn't grow up supporting Chelsea. He wasn't 8 years old changing diapers and whatnot at Chelsea Football Club. No. Okay, he wasn't sitting in the canteen at 6. He came at 15. So that's just a little bit of context to give you. But like I said, for free. For free. And we talk about it so much financially. He signed a new deal in 2018 after the loan at Mönchengladbach, and obviously that was prior to Sarri's season. So in 2018, he signed a 4-year deal on 84,000 a week. That's 4.3 million a year. Times that by 4, taking us to 2022 now, 17.2 million, right? He's cost the club 17.2 million over 4 years. Do you know how cheap that is? So when people talk about Christensen's leaving on a free and he's losing us money, he's saved us money. And this is where we talk about amortization costs for young players that come for free, come through the academy. They cost the club peanuts. He's been one of the lowest paid players over the last 4 years in the squad. Barkley makes 100k. Malang Sarr makes 100k. Danny Drinkwater makes 120k. So there's a bit of context for you there. He is one of the cheapest earners. He's saved us a lot of money. If you think about 17.4 million for a defender of that quality, how much does that cost in the transfer market? 30, 40, 50 million pounds? Plus wages, plus signing on fee? That's a lot of money. Think about it. Yeah? Think about it. That's a lot of money saved. So he's well within his rights to try and ask for whatever wage he wanted. Well within his rights to think and wind that contract down. And I move on to the next point. Chelsea fans are saying they feel betrayed. They're saying he snaked us. It wasn't so long ago under Lampard, nobody wanted him here. They wanted him gone. That's the facts of the matter. That's why he's in this situation with his contract. That's why his contract is running out. The club didn't know whether they wanted to keep him. If I had asked you 2 years ago, when Lampard was here, do you want Christian to sign a new contract? What would you have said at home? Nah, I'm not too bothered. If he goes, he goes. Right? So, fair play. I mean, here he was making mistakes. Sometimes he was getting bodied off the ball. He made that mistake against Barcelona. It will never be forgotten in the Champions League. So obviously, that puts him in this precarious position. And this leads me to the question, what does he really owe Chelsea and owe the Chelsea fans? I'm being completely honest. I also wasn't sure if I wanted to keep him. He wasn't seen as this massive part of our team. He was a rotational centre-back, and I thought he was good in Sarri's season with Rudiger and Luiz when he stepped in, but he was nowhere near indispensable, and for a certain amount of money, we would have took it from a Barcelona in La Liga or a Bayern Munich in the Bundesliga. So how much does Christensen really owe Chelsea and owe Chelsea fans? When his contract has been allowed to run down to this point, Chelsea fans were willing and allowing him to potentially go not so long ago. When we talk about him owing us, what does he really owe us after 10 years of grafting in the academy, going out on loan in Mönchengladbach, coming back, working his tail off to get into the team, and eventually establishing himself? And yes, it's only been 1 calendar year of great form. But when you hit 25, it is absolutely paramount that you get the right contract, because we all know how Chelsea treat their 29, 30 plus range when it comes to contracts. And yes, I know people are going to come at me now, contracts, but let's talk about it. 2 times his agent, his dad, messed up and fumbled the bag on the contract with Marino. But let's be honest, okay, about 2 things. One, his dad is not an experienced negotiator with contracts. His dad is his agent, and I've been saying for the longest, when you get family involved in contracts, that sometimes comes at a downfall of inexperience and getting kind of screwed over in terms of negotiations. That's why Raiola exists. That's why Mendes exists, and these experienced top agents with many players on their roster who have experienced negotiating with some of the most powerful chief executives in the world. And Marina is extremely good at her job. So it's not really surprising to see that they've had to go back and forth on their contract agreements. And yes, it doesn't look good in the public eye, but I assure you, in business, this happens all the time. You don't just agree a contract without signing and then you change your mind. That's not a freak thing. We change our mind every day as people, literally. Sometimes I want an orange, then I get an apple. Sometimes I want to take the train, then I take the bus. Literally, we change our mind on everything as human beings. So, yes, for him to change his mind twice, it looks bad. Yes, he agreed verbally twice. But we've seen with Harry Kane and Daniel Levy, verbal agreements don't mean shit. Until it's signed, don't expect anything. And that is the brute honesty in business. And I think Chelsea fans, yes, you are butthurt about it and you want him to stay because it's a terrible time for him to go with our new ownership. But you have to look at it from his perspective as well. And at the end of the day, Chelsea, like I said, 5-year, 4-year deal, whatever it was going to be, this is his big opportunity to get whatever he thinks is perfect for him. And we're going to talk about rotation and his position in the squad because he's not a guaranteed starter. And we always knew game time was Christensen's very important factor in this negotiation as well. He's not a guaranteed starter at Chelsea. We've got Thiago Silva penned until 2023. He's been absolutely legendary for us. Trevor Chalobah has seen a lot of game time prior his injury at right side centre-back as well. And of course, we have Rudiger, who we're trying to convince and linked with other players like Koundé and Levi Colwill to come from the academy. So it's not like Christensen is this week in, week out starter who's indispensable in the starting 11 and he should have no qualms or queries about his potential position in the squad. You know, he's still in that rotational phase. So again, that is playing a part in his thinking. And who is he going to? Well, Barcelona. And I think Barcelona suit him. I really do.
Quickly, really quick. Nobody ever thinks about projects. He's won the Champions League at Chelsea. There is nowhere to go but down from here, unless you can maintain. It's very hard to plateau. Most people aren't Real Madrid. Project, Barcelona. Not the greatest right now. Have galvanized their squad under Xavi. A lot of potential new signings have come in, potentially being able to come back and bring Barcelona to their glory again. Get cemented in the Camp Nou, if he could do so. Imagine all of those things he has to come.
Listen, I think it's exciting for him. You know, it's exciting for him. And like I say, I wish him well in this regard. I think it's an exciting move for him. It's not great for us. Like I said, the timing is terrible. And another point, people are saying that he was ill, quote unquote, for the Carabao Cup final and then potentially gets the medical done for Barcelona following day on a Monday. Now, you being ill or having a cold or whatever it was, that's not going to affect the medical. Is it a bit weak? Some people say maybe so, 100%. And we've had these issues with him before. But I'm not going to start questioning the mentality of a player who came on for Thiago Silva in the Champions League final against Manchester City and put in a flawless performance. I have been critical of Christensen's mentality in the past when he was a lot younger, but I do think his mentality under Tuchel has come leaps and bounds and he's improved drastically in this regard. So I'm not going to start chipping away at his mentality now when it suits. And of course, like I said, that maybe is the only part where I would say to fans, yeah, I can understand why you're a bit pissed off that he agrees a medical the following day after missing the Carabao Cup final. But listen, it's not going to be something that's going to eat away at me for 10 years. We defended in that game. We kept a clean sheet. We didn't really miss him. And we know how we didn't win that game. It was down to chances missed. So it's not something that's going to eat away at me. It's not going to keep me up at night. I'll move on happily. The comparisons with Courtois I've seen as well. Not really making any sense to me. I'm not going to lie. A little bit lazy, I think, because Courtois publicly was unprofessional for Chelsea. I have not seen Christensen be professionally unprofessional publicly in any regard. I think, yes, behind the scenes there are things happening that maybe people don't like. You're never going to get the full context of the situation there. But publicly, he's played the games he's had to play. He's showed up for training. He hasn't skipped training. He hasn't spoken out in the media after. Well, maybe he will when he leaves Chelsea, but we can't make that assumption. Courtois was speaking in the media constantly saying, Hazard, come to Real Madrid, while Hazard is contracted at Chelsea. Much more disrespect and unprofessionalism publicly from Courtois. You can speculate what happens privately with Christensen, but nothing publicly. So that's another point for me where I feel like people are pushing the boat out on the Courtois comparison. And finally, like I say, I wish him well. I think he's going to absolutely kill it in La Liga at Barcelona. I think he suits that league perfectly. I think he suits that team perfectly. Obviously wanting to play with the ball out from the back. Gerard Piqué's aging as well. Sergio Busquets. They're starting to try and move that team on and go into a new era with maybe De Jong and Gavi and Pedri and Christensen. So listen, like I said, like Saj said, project. Exciting, okay? Very exciting. And it's not good for us. Terrible timing, like I said. New ownership, we're probably going to have less money. We're going to need to be more sustainable. We could really do with keeping a player like Christensen instead of spending, like I said, 17.4 million over 4 years in comparison to having to spend, what, 50 million on Koundé, 60 million, 70 million on Koundé. It's a big difference in costs. But that's what we have to deal with. That's not Christensen's problem that we're in this position as a club. Like I said, if he was so secure in his future at Chelsea, he would never have been on a 1 year running out contract, 1 year to go on his contract. So clearly on both sides there is insecurity over his future, and we're just going to have to deal with it, ladies and gentlemen. This is the position we're in. It's terrible timing, but I do wish him well. Let me know in the comments what you think on Andreas Christensen leaving Chelsea. If he is he betraying us? Is he a snake? Bit extreme. But or do you agree with me that it's just business? It's just business men doing business, and maybe some inexperienced agents not really getting the contract sorted how they maybe wanted. But I do believe it's more of a new challenge. He's taking less money at Barcelona now than Chelsea offered. So it is what it is. Let me know what you think. Smash up the icons. In a bit, people. Peace.